Hi again, more English discovery with Nick Farrow. This is the last of 3 lessons about why and how we use there is and there are. And now it gets more complicated, so let's go to the next topic. The first point in this lesson is about the problems of hearing and understanding the complicated sounds connected with there are. If your grammar understanding is poor, or if you are not used to listening to English, you may have problems confusing there are, there, and there. To understand the problem, let's go back to the emails between the 2 university students Emma and Jenna that we saw in the first 2 lessons. Okay, look at this email. This is the 3rd one between the university friends. Just read it once. Maybe pause the video, then look at the questions appearing below. First, our main target, there is. We have 3. 1 with new information about a mall, and 2 describing the mall. Now, the location word there. Here are 3 examples. And finally, they or they are. The pronouns refer to some restaurants, and my classmates. But what about there? It's another pronoun called a personal pronoun. Do you see the examples in this piece? These add a problem because they sound so similar to they are and there. These are the problems you will face when listening, especially. And the next exercise is a listening exercise. Try to understand all the uses in this news report. There was a traffic accident in the city centre this afternoon. Our reporter arrived there and reported that there were 2 cars there and they were both going too fast. Now, there are rescue crews there, but they are having trouble helping the drivers who are still trapped in their cars. Their families are there too, and they are watching the rescue activity. Okay, listen again and read at the same time. There was a traffic accident in the city centre this afternoon. Our reporter arrived there and reported that there were 2 cars there and they were both going too fast. Now, there are rescue crews there, but they are having trouble helping the drivers who are still trapped in their cars. Their families are there too, and they're watching the rescue activity. That's it. it should be much easier to understand when you're reading, but in real situations, you're likely to be listening only. Now, if you are aware of these kind of challenges and you are careful about your grammar, you will be able to understand things a little better. Here, I want to introduce another point. It's very simple. This form can also be used in other tenses, not only the present tense. Look at these examples. And I think they don't need any explanation. They're very easy to understand. You can use there is, there are in future past situations too. No problem. You can also make more complex sentences using this form. Here we have put two sentences together. It sounds more natural this way. And you might note that you could say, there is a man in the park reading a newspaper. The information has been changed around, but the meaning is almost the same. If you wanted to write this in a formal style, then it would look like this. Now here is another example. And here is the more natural form. If you can do this kind of writing and speaking, it's going to give you more power with this there is form. Sometimes you will see sentences where there is not at the head of the sentence. Look at these examples. You can see that the meaning has not changed very much. So why would we change the order of the sentence parts? Well, to answer that, take a look at the next slide. Here's something to read. Please pause the video while you read everything. You will see that the grammar is correct and the information is perfectly clear. But is there not something strange about this passage? Yes, it's in the style. Now, if you look at the next slide, it has the same information, but it is much easier to read or listen to. Pause the video and read it through. I think you will find it easier to read than the first example, although the information is basically the same. Here are some examples of some more advanced forms you can create using there is. And now we're going to move on to negative forms and question forms using there is. In fact, negative forms and question forms are not so difficult to make. They follow the same grammar changes as any other sentence with normal subject and verb patterns. However, notice that there are two correct ways to make the negative form, and they have the same meaning. Here's another example. The yes-no question and the WH question, they are also very easy to make. Have a look. Okay, these are all normal grammar changes, the same as you would make in any other normal form. And finally, here is one simple expression that I believe everybody should be ready to use to describe their families. It is clear, safe, and correct every time. And that's the end of this series on the topic of there is and there are. I hope this helped you to catch the meaning of this form, how to write it correctly, how to use it well. So don't forget, if you like my lessons, please like them.